I haven't made a video in a while, and it's mostly because I've been busy and kind of just wasn't motivated to make one. Because I reached out to like Tunic and some devs and trying to just get codes, and they said that there was an issue with codes in the Asia server, so they're not releasing codes, which is fine. But then I also really reached out to them, just talking about trying to get a content creator what's it called, role in the Discord server. And I reached out to Tunic multiple times about this, and he kind of just changed the topic or didn't respond to me. And I was pretty annoyed by that because it doesn't really give me any benefit, but it's just something that I wanted as a person who creates content for the game. And they haven't really obliged to that. So I was like, dude, why the fuck am I even making content? But I do enjoy kind of being able to help anyone that's newer to the game. Just creating videos that outlay my strategy going into each season, different methods of moving troops, spending gold, arranging gear, whatever. Anyone that needs help with. So I did want to just throw another video together for those type of people, even though I'm not really getting anything for it, unfortunately. So this video is basically going to go over, it's not going to go over the update because Big Vi covered that in a couple videos, kind of going over that. So if you're interested in that and you haven't read through the update notes or whatever, head over to his channel. Covers it pretty well. This video is going to go over bugs that they have either fixed or are still in the game that I've noticed. And then it's going to go over my seasonal strategy, pretty much. What I've done so far and what I'm going to continue to do and add into my strategy in these last 6 days of the season. So basically, going over the bugs first, I will say after this last update, I haven't heard as many people complaining about losing troops this season. I haven't seen it in World Chat, Million Lords server, or any of my clanmates saying that their troops disappeared, which is nice because it shouldn't ever happen. But it's been something that's been happening every season, basically, that I've been playing this game. So I don't know if they fixed it or kind of fixed some of the main issues, but so far I haven't seen that been prevalent, so that's nice. Also, I haven't seen, this season at least, any cities that are glitched. Now, I know there was a fix on it earlier where it seemed like if you did have a glitch city where, let's say you had a level 140 the first day of the season, then it made it so you almost had to purposely do it in order to glitch it. So I'm not sure if there's just no one purposely doing it this season, but I know there was a couple last season, and I haven't seen any this season. So that's more of not a definite fix, but something that I've noticed so far. Haven't seen anyone complaining or posting about a level 140 first day or whatever, first week. Then going in, they did fix, as far as I can tell, the bubble glitch where you could activate your bubble twice in a row. Basically, last season, what you'd be able to do is you would go into your bubble, you'd activate it. Now, you could either just activate it normally, the normal time that you do it, or you could push it back to activate it earlier. And then once the 6 hours is over, you're going to have 18 hours left before it activates again. And so then what you do to activate it a second time is you'd push it forward till it says the 24-hour mark. before activation, and then you would activate again. Now, that's just the method that I noticed, but there might have been other methods. But I've tried that method just to test it out, either pushing my bubble forward or backward, trying to get the 24 mark, and it hasn't worked this season. So I believe they fixed that, which is good. Now, going to clan chat, it's still not fixed. As you can see, I can't, like, scrolling up and down, it doesn't let me see any previous messages before I uploaded the game, or loaded into the game. And so that's still not fixed. It's been fucking 4 seasons or something, and they still haven't fixed it, which is crazy to me. Because it was working before. I don't know how they could screw it up and then not be like, oh, it's simple, we just changed this and then whatever. So it's going on like 2-3 months that they haven't changed that, which is annoying. Not so much for well-organized clans because they just have a Discord server that they talk in mostly, but anyone that is in like lower leagues, I'm sure it's hurting more so because they don't have like as much organization in the so that they'd have a Discord server. They just mostly talk through their clan chat, which is not showing previous messages. It will show like if I'm loaded into the game and a clanmate's talking to me at the same moment that I'm loaded into the game, it should show it, but otherwise I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Yeah, so if I go to the top player, he's at 124, I'm at 12 mil KP, and if I go to if I go to attack him, even though I'm bubbled, it'll still show this. Like, obviously it won't let me send an attack, especially not at his main city, but it'll show if I'm attacking, I get 200% experience, and he gets 0%. And I've covered this in maybe 3 or 4 videos now. Still is inaccurate. As pretty much everyone knows, if you're attacking an opponent, it doesn't matter if they are at a much higher KP than you. You can still get 200% experience, but they will get 100% experience on the defense, no matter what. The very least you can get on defense is 100%. If you're higher than the person. So it should be 100%, shouldn't be 0. And I'm pretty sure this is only for opponents that are 200% experience, because if they're 150, they still get 100%, and that's accurate no matter what. As far as I know, there might be a small window where they turn from 150% to 200%, where it shows inaccurate, but as far as I know, for the most part, it's for 200% experience opponents, where it shows that they're only getting 0% experience, and that is inaccurate because they are getting 100% experience. Let's see. There's also a notification glitch. So many times throughout my season, then I get attacked like 3-4 times before I get a notification, if at all. So I might load in the morning after sleeping, and when I look at my attack log, also I will say it doesn't fucking show anything. Sometimes I have to go back and then it shows 3 or 4 or whatever. So that's also a glitch where it's not showing the battle report. But like, let's say I logged in the morning, it may say like 40 notifications from my battle reports, but I didn't get anything. I didn't get any notifications that someone was attacking me. And generally it does give me a notification, I will say, but this is sometimes after like 4 attacks. So by then, like, they've already taken fucking million KP from you. So they might be only sending a couple more attacks before they finish anyway, so it doesn't matter by then. So that, and of course, it doesn't show. A lot of times this first window is blank, So this window should be showing what this window has, and then from there it's fine. It is weird that some of them have 3 and then some have 4. That's just like kind of it's not really an issue, but there is an issue, like obviously a time thing where if you need to check your ports, then it's not showing. I didn't see anything whereas like if they scout from now on out, then we will not show their striker when they scout. But I'm trying to find an issue here. I'm trying to find it, but it's not showing. But either way, right now, if someone scouts you, you cannot tap the battle report and see what their striker is. I don't remember seeing it in previous patch notes where they said we're removing that, but they have removed it. So that's something where it might be an ignorance on my part, but I have not seen anything that says they removed that. But it is removed, so that's interesting. Now going into my strategy for the game this season. Pretty much my earliest strategy was, and this is where I spawned. I haven't moved, so there's no like strategy within that, like where my placement of my city is. But I kind of like this placement. I haven't really claimed any temples, but my clan's doing a really good job of holding on to them, so I haven't needed to. So basically, my first strategy was, last season, I saved up my gold and suicide into temples, last hour, as I always do, and I've highlighted this in previous videos. And I got all my cities, about 70 of them. Actually, it was closer to, I think it was closer to 40 or 50 of them. But I got them to level 102. And so I figure I might as well just upgrade my main to level 102, because then I'm not losing any gold. Because it's not like if I upgraded this to like 115 instead, then I'd be losing gold in the long run. Because if you spread out your gold between multiple cities versus one, then you're at a higher KP. So I figure I might as well just upgrade this one to 102 from the start. And then I'll continuously take the cities around me, and I will kind of upgrade them as the island upgrades. So as you can see, pretty much everyone on the island is 70, 80s, 90s. And so as they upgrade, then I'm going up to 70s, 80s, 90s. Now, it's a good thing often to get your cities to 80, because then a lot of people with lower strikers, or even people with higher strikers that are just trying to like bully you or get the least amount of troop loss, then they'll attack with 100 mil plus on 80s. And so then it's a slower attack, and you can more easily wall them. So that's kind of a nice sort of strategy, more common knowledge thing. But then now that they're 90s, a lot of people are going to be hitting with a G+. Now, you don't need a G+ to take 90s, but your true plus will be higher if you use under a G, like 100 mil to a G. Even with a pretty decent striker, you're still losing upwards of 10%. So now that I've got my cities to 90s, then likely people will be attacking, or at least this group of cities to 90s, likely people attacking me with upwards of a G, and I'll more easily be able to wall them, whether boosting my attack or sending multiple 100 mil to a G attacks, or I guess reinforcements, to my city in order to wall them. And so yeah, otherwise, basically what I've been doing, especially early season, is I would spend all my gold upgrading my main city, as I mentioned, and then I would run through, starting at the lowest KP person around me, anyone that I know that I can run through. Now, I would of course test this. Like you can just attack people with smaller attacks, and if they wall you, then that's their playstyle. That's completely fine. But then like you have to be more cautious running through them. You have to maybe get specific jumps to try to get to different sides of their base, and then attack from there. Or send smaller attacks so they're faster. Maybe spec more into speed so that you have less chance of being walled. Make sure that you have Speed Temple or Striker Temple owned by your clan when you are attacking them so that you have highest advantage, stuff like that. So you attack the general people around you, and you know who will wall you, who's slower than you, who's faster, know who to avoid, who to attack more cautiously. And basically, I would attack and boost my KP the very highest I can. And then I would let my cities be taken and wall the easiest attacks to wall while they're retaking my KP. Or my cities, I guess you could say. And so this is kind of just building gold, building experience. Also, I will mention, if it's a stronger person, I kind of like to let them take enough cities so that they're 200% experience before trying to wall any of their attacks, because then it's more beneficial, especially because it's going to be a higher troop loss because they're higher striker, etc. So like this entire group on the side here, I'm going to be losing probably in the morning, early morning, and then I'll probably keep these more. And if I'm awake, if I set a timer or whatever to wake me up, an alarm, then as people run through them, I'll try to wall them throughout. And I won't always do this. If there's someone that's attacking me that always upgrades cities, I'm not going to wall them. Like, it's just an easy target to take. And it's kind of like, it's a borderline thing. Like, you got to know, or you got to kind of like keep it in the back of your head. Like, you don't want to be considered trading, but if someone's upgrading your cities as they take them, like, there's no downside to letting them take them. And then they're going to be 200% experience when you take back later on. And even if they do try to wall you, like, just play smarter. You don't have to run through the same area. You can just, as I said, get a bridge, send smaller attack, make sure that your clan has the right temples, spec into more speed to avoid walls. Then I've also been, like, this guy. Oh, wait, did he move? This guy here, also, he has solid stats. They're better than me, at the very least. And so I don't really attack him as much. And also, I probably won't be attacking Lincoln. Also has solid stats, better than me. And so instead of attacking these players and having higher potential being walled, I instead will but I'll wait till other people run through them or take some of their cities, and then I will take the cities from those weaker people. And it's kind of like, you almost think, like, you feel bad about it. You're like, all right, I'm like taking advantage of weaker players, but that's pretty much the entire fucking game. Like, that's just what you do. And of course, it's more fun to take cities from people of higher stats or equal stats to you, but it doesn't always work out that way. The way the cities are aligned or their skills are aligned, it doesn't always work out that you can do that, especially in Diamond, where, like, you can't fuck around as much, like, and actually have a fun time. You actually have to grind KP and whatever. A lot less enjoyable of a season in Diamond than in Gold or Plat. So you kind of just have to grind it out and play whichever advantage is helping you out the most. So yeah, I haven't really been attacking the main big people on my island. I attack the people that take their cities from them. And this also like lessens the target on your head. But also, if he attacks me, which he has a couple times, this guy, then I will maybe wall some of his smaller attacks. Otherwise, I'll let him take it and just reclaim at double experience. Like, that's not an issue to me. I don't mind that. Going forward, as you can see, upgraded my cities to 90s in my main area. And I'm going to try to stay a higher KP. If I do fall lower, that's not an issue to me. I'll simply reclaim. I will say, throughout this entire season, I have been collecting my recruiter. Oh, that's another thing. The recruiter, it doesn't show the amount that is stored, which is fucked. But it doesn't show the amount, and so it's a lot harder to keep track of what you have or what you've boosted it to. It's also just like an inconvenience. So that's another thing that I haven't fixed. Really annoying. That's also like the most annoying thing for me. But yeah, whatever. Just another thing that I need to work on. So yeah, every time, whether it's in the morning or at night, when I've stored my recruiter for a couple hours, I will raise my KP as high as I possibly can before collecting it. And I do this every single time. As now you see, I've spent a bit of gold and I've raised my KP to 12.5 mil. So as it comes around hourly, I will claim it. I'm not going to try to boost it up because I'm already high in my KP, and I am bubbled, so nothing I could do. And I'll probably even set an alarm for when my bubble drops to collect it before people start trying to run through me. And I'll be collecting that as high as KP. I am storing my clan quests, and I will probably store the next one as well, or clan rewards. I don't know, what is this actually called? It is a clan quest, yeah. And so I'll probably wait till last 1 or 2 days of season to actually claim it, and hopefully be at maybe 30, 40 mil KP before I do that, just to maximize the benefits of that. Also, I'm not really attacking or walling people with my full stack, and so I don't really need the extra troops as of now. And because I'm storing gold, don't need the extra gold. So that's something to keep in mind. If you are going to be walling a lot of people, maybe it's beneficial, to claim that earlier, or simply if you spend all your gold and boost your KP high enough earlier in season, that's probably fine to collect. I will say for expeditions, mostly running gear expeditions. I haven't been posting them like I normally do in YouTube Shorts, but it's just a real chore. And I'm like at 40 days now, and I still haven't got a legendary. Running gear expeditions almost every day, so yeah, that's fucked as well. I've been running a few of these. I don't know what the actual expedition is called, but the ones that give the snowflakes. So I ran 2 so far. It looks like I'm gonna have to run 1 or 2 more in order to keep up with getting it, so that I can get the higher level rewards. But if I don't, then what I will be spending it on is the sapphires, possibly the troop boost, or the cases, or like chest jewel box case. So I won't be buying main city change. I will say though, the main city change is pretty solid because it does start off at 2, or it's free for the first time, and then it starts off at 200, I think, gem or sapphires to change. Fresh start is nice, but you get a free one for the first couple days of season anyways, so I don't see really the value in that. City renames, you get tons of them throughout, and I don't really change any city but my main city rename anyways. So I don't see value in that. Skill reset. I would think it's valuable, but it starts off at 200. So, and what sucks is it forces you to use your skill resets if you have them in the game. So the first reset is 50 and it goes up by 50 from there. So instead of buying that, I could simply buy 50 gems for 20 sapphires, or 20 snowflakes, sorry. So that's a higher value because it'll force you to use a skill reset. So that one skill reset will cost 200, or it could cost 50 sapphires, which is 20, 1/10 the value. So something to kind of consider. So yeah, basically going forward, boosting my KP high before collecting troops, walling attacks that are easy to wall, upgrading cities that I can defend, and minimally upgrading the other cities. I am currently in Guardian, kind of thinking I'm going to go into Cautious before I go to bed, just because I probably won't be awake when my bubble drops. I will say also for production, because it's a ×5 event this season, so all gold production is ×5. I did swap out my shield. I did swap out my Shield of the Owl, which gives 18% troop production, for my Shield of Lightning God, which gives 21% gold production, or prosperous if you want to be technical. So that 18% that I'm subtracting is being replaced with 105% gold production because of the ×5. So this is what I did. Like, I didn't have any legendaries for these ones in gold production, so but I did have a legendary replacement for the shield. And so that's what I did. And I don't really know if it's the best idea, but I mean, switching out 18% troop production for 105% gold production seems worth it to me. But that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. I think it was a good idea. I don't know I'm pretty sure they're not going to continue this next season, the ×5% gold production. Maybe just something they're trying this season to test it out. So it's really only relevant this season. But for this season, I've been doing that, and I think it's been doing all right. Because, like, of course, I do have my gold temple right now, but I'm making 155 mil gold an hour. So, like, at this rate, I'm making over 2 Gs a day, which translates to maybe like 500k to a mil KP. Also just makes up for gold that I lose because of the salvager nerf that I would have had. So yeah, I like that. I think as long as they keep it ×5, I'm going to keep doing that, and I think it's beneficial. That pretty much covers everything. If I didn't cover anything that you kind of thought I was going to, or you have questions, comments, corrections, whatever really, feel free to leave a comment. Also, of course, feel free to like and subscribe. That's always appreciated, your support. So yeah, hope you have a great Christmas. Hope some of this information was helpful. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.